Hello and welcome. I've already hit my microphone. Great start.
Nice.
Headset. Good. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Control Alt Record. My name is Chris, and with you for this episode is Brett and Grax. So this week, or this episode, we're going to have a quick chat about the Destiny 2 expansion, Curse of Osiris. Sea of Thieves has been given a official release date. Ark has a new update coming out as well very shortly, and we also have the return of the quiz. Of course, if you do like this show, please jump onto iTunes and give us a rating, give us a review, or any other sort of Google Android app that you might be using. Check out our Facebook and Twitter as well as our YouTube channel. So for all the links to those channels will be in the description of this episode. But let's get into the show.
You're listening to Control Alt Record.
Alrighty, so before we get into the content, first up, let's do a little bit of news and see what's been going on in the gaming industry in the past week, as well as just general nonsense from the internet. So, nonsense is always fun. It always provides giggles and laughs, particularly if you're not maybe this person, though. A UK YouTuber has recently nearly killed himself, and nearly through a prank that has gone horribly wrong. Now, Brett, you and I have already had a laugh at this, but just before the show, Grax, you actually haven't heard about this, so this will be fresh for you, potentially any other listeners that may not have picked up on this. But so we're in a bit of a age, I think now, or an era where YouTube and this online sort of entertainment of, I guess, social media and things like that, where people, as you do something stupid and your video goes viral, then you're famous. But this guy went a little bit too far. So what he's done is I'm not going to say his name, mostly because I can't remember it, but I'm sure you can just Google it and it'll be easy enough to find. But what he's done is he's put his head inside a microwave and poured cement into it with his head
into the microwave.
Well, both. So his head is inside the microwave and he has poured cement into the microwave along with his head. Now, he has had some sort of plastic bag over his head with a really long air tube that sort of, is exposed and isn't within the microwave. So he's got like a sort of a air tunnel to actually breathe out through.
But radiation.
The microwave wasn't on.
Hang on. How did he get the microwave to work with the door open?
I sure didn't turn on.
I don't think the microwave wasn't on. It looked like from the pictures he's cut a hole in the bottom of the microwave to give it enough space to stick his head in it, and then poured it full of concrete. So
I'm assuming he was trying to make a cast of his head or something. Is that what the go is?
No,
or he
was definitely why is the question here. Why?
Yeah.
What are you getting out of this? What's
natural
anyone
selection?
getting out of it?
It was a prank. It was a prank that's gone horribly wrong.
It's not even a prank. Something you do to someone else.
Doing it yourself is not a prank. It's just
stupid. Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
I don't know if retarded is a PC term that you can use, but it's fucking retarded.
It's absolutely crazy that he's done this. I mean, essentially what's happened, though, is he's had to get the emergency services out to actually get his head out of it. And this is really why, if you're going to be doing something stupid for views and, the likes on Facebook and Twitter or whatever, this is just dumb and stupid. He spent about, I think, 90 minutes with his head stuck in the microwave with the concrete once it started to harden. He struggled to breathe from what the reports are showing. It's funny that, isn't it?
I wonder why.
And after about 90 minutes, that's when the fire brigade eventually showed up, and it still took them a further 60 minutes to get his head out of the microwave. So he is safe now from last I read. Maybe not all there in the head, though. But, of course, the fire brigade put out obviously a statement that this is absolutely fucking stupid. Didn't actually say that. Because
they probably should have, though.
While they're sitting there trying to save this idiot, there's actually other people out there.
Yeah, it's like a cat up a tree that might have been up there longer.
Fucking stupid cat.
I want to know what's the best that can happen out of this. I want to ask you, like, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like, what literally is the best thing that could happen out of this situation?
He gets more likes on his YouTube channel. He gets more subscriptions. That's all.
Okay,
it was
so it's all about the at the expense of his life.
Yeah, apparently there is a value that you can put on likes, and apparently
right. Your life is that commodity.
Because even if it kind of worked and he could breathe and it just kind of set on his head and then he's got a microwave on his head, he'd be like, yeah, cool. But then how do you get it off? Because generally concrete, it tends to harden and it's quite hard to break. So
I tell you what, if I was the fire brigade guy responding to that, I know how I'd be getting the concrete off with a fucking sledgehammer.
That would cave his skull in though. So
oops. People like that are stealing our oxygen. That's all I've got to say. Oxygen thief.
Exactly.
As long as he doesn't reproduce, just don't. Those genes need to die right there.
Has. Maybe if you turn the microwave on, that
true.
might have stopped him from reproducing.
It's a little bit stupid, but I say a little bit.
Don't try this at home, boys and girls.
Yeah, certainly not. So we've also on a bit of sort of gaming related, but this guy, as once again, can't remember his name, but he was on.
Nice. Very well researched, Chris.
Yeah. Well, but then I think with the first guy, I think he really doesn't deserve credit for what he's done. He's doing it for the likes, and I think if I could remember his name, then
how many more? I want to see. I bet his channel's gone up significantly, though. I bet you even though
people want to see, look at this guy.
Yeah, he's probably made quite a lot out of it in terms of followers. Unfortunately,
this guy though he's done it's a little bit differently. That he is on Twitch, and what he actually did is he recently streamed the entire UFC 218 fight. That was about a week or two ago. I don't follow UFC, but it's been in the news in the last sort of week or two. So he streamed the entire fight on Twitch, and he managed to get away with it. So
isn't that illegal?
That's fucking really illegal.
It is, but for whatever reason, Twitch didn't take his live stream down, because what he actually did, I don't know if you guys have obviously ever watched a video on Twitch live stream, is you generally see the person playing the game that obviously they're streaming. So what he did for the entire UFC sort of fight, and this is from round one of whatever fight. I don't follow UFC, so I'm probably getting the terminology wrong. But there's obviously multiple bouts and there's multiple different fights and things like that. So it goes on all day. It's a really quite a lengthy event. But what he did for the entire thing is sat there with an Xbox controller or something like that, and pretended that he was playing a video game while streaming it. So every time, you could actually see him on the TV playing with the controller, and every time, a particular fighter would get hit, he would then argue with the screen and blame the game for, cheating him or something like that. So it looked like he was playing the game, and for that reason, Twitch didn't pull his live stream down, and he got away with it. And he's someone who I think had about he had 2,000 followers after about 5 years of streaming on Twitch. And after this, he went up to, I think, 5,000 followers in the space of 24 hours. So that was someone who certainly got his return on that one.
I tell you,
wouldn't
there's going to be legislation around that, Chris.
Well, they haven't done that yet. Latest sort of reports online on the interwebs is that, I think UFC probably would be within their rights to come after this guy, but they haven't done that yet. But so you might
figure out how to do it.
Probably.
What's his channel called? I'm asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Well, if your friend wanted to know, his channel, I'm just trying to find it here, was...
Fine. We shouldn't support the illegal streaming of
You're
UFC.
probably right. But once again...
Probably another one for Google, if you're interested.
Oh, God, I get the microphone again. Let me just move that out of the way. Hopefully that didn't come through, but it probably did. If you want to go check it out, I'm sure you can think of ways to Google it yourself. So there you go. So he did get away with that. Also, for now, until potentially the UFC lawyers come knocking on the door.
So we're saying don't pay for UFC because you can just go on Twitch and watch it on someone's stream.
But in saying that, I mean, I don't know how smart this was. He has also come out saying that he will be doing exactly the same thing again for the UFC 219 fight. So, which is...
How much do you want to bet he doesn't?
Stay tuned. We'll see.
I'd love to see him be like streaming live, and someone kicks the door in and smashes up his house.
He gets raided on his Twitch stream.
Now that I'd pay to see.
Have you seen that? That's actually a prank that Twitch streamers I've seen play on each other. They call it swatted, I think is what it's called. So
they make like terror spells or stupid shit like that, don't they?
Yeah, people, they which is also really stupid because once again,
it's also illegal.
Yeah, you're prank calling basically the law enforcement, and they come in with the SWAT team. I'm pretty sure if you're listening and you don't know what SWAT is, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure it's say if I was a streamer and you guys were a streamer, and I kind of went, I called the police, went, look, this guy Grax, he lives at this house, he's done this, this, and this, and you go in calling like an anonymous tip, and then Twitch streamers have been caught while they're live streaming with the police kicking down their door, coming in and arresting the streamers and taking them out.
Just because
Please tell me there's been no Aussies that have done this. It sounds like a purely American thing.
Probably. It probably is, but Twitch is around the world. Who knows where these people are actually based? Also, out this week we have the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. Yay. So I don't think that's really news. Doesn't really sort of come to news because you're probably aware that it's coming out this Thursday. It's this Thursday, isn't it?
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. If you go to a midnight session.
Yep. So, Grax, you're pretty much you're a huge Star Wars fan. I think we're all huge Star Wars fans.
We're all Star Wars fans.
But I kind of get the sense out of the group you're probably the biggest one. But
possibly.
Possibly. What are you hoping from this movie? What are you expecting? Is there any? Myself personally, I don't know what to expect because I've spent ever since the trailer started to come out, I haven't seen a single trailer. I've been purposely avoiding it.
You've gone dark.
I have. I'm going into the movie completely rogue. I don't know what to expect.
That's probably good.
And look, well, that's right, because I kind of there was a movie. Which one was it? Maybe it was like The Last Avengers or something like that, or the Spider-Man movie. They show you
most of the movie in the trailer.
Pretty much, yeah.
Most movies that have come out in the last 10 years,
which is like basically like 90% of the movie. So I when it came to Star Wars, I didn't want that, so I have stayed cleared of the trailers. I think even like last night on the TV, it came on the ads, and it was like, I ran out of the house, and I was just like,
See, I've done pretty much the complete opposite. Like I watched all the trailers, watched all the TV spots, read all the magazine interviews and stuff. Like I don't mind too much about that stuff. My whole thing about movies and especially fantasy movies, Star Wars, Star Trek, anything that's not real, made up, tried for entertainment purposes. I just want to be entertained. I want to hear and see and be immersed in a good story, something that entertains me. If they can explain how things happen in the movie that you go, oh, holy crap, that's bullshit. What the Force isn't real, whatever your thing in your movie is. If the actions of the actors and the storyline propels this fantasy along, then I'm happy. And in particular with Star Wars, I want to see a good story. I don't want to fall into the trap of, it's the third movie or the second movie in the new trilogy, and it should be kind of dark like Empire Strikes Back was, and all this other shit. I just want a good story. I'm interested to see what Rey's caper is, who's she related to. I want to know who the fuck Snoke is. Got a few theories on the internet flying around about him. And apart from those two things, I just want to see a good Star Wars movie. I want to see stormtroopers missing stuff. I want to see Jedi carving people up.
What did you think about Rogue One, Grax?
I didn't mind it. I really enjoyed the end scenes with Darth Vader. I thought that was brilliant. And the word on the street is that was only put in very late in the piece, like reshot and stuff, which I think was a master stroke. Yeah, apparently it wasn't planned to be part of the movie.
I must be the only one that hated that. I just felt like it was like...
I thought it was awesome.
It was like getting hit in the face with a sledgehammer. It's like they didn't need to
Vader
add that in. No. But it's like, I don't mean in that respect. I mean, it's like, it's sort of forced into such sort of fan service where it's like, look, like we're literally connecting it. It's like sometimes like an implied thing, in my opinion, is better than it being just forced into your face.
Well, sometimes, directors say there's more creativity in making you draw your own conclusion, and I take your meaning there for sure, yeah. But I just thought this time around, it was good
Seems so
to see.
unnecessary. It's just like we already knew that was happening. It's like
But
why did they need to have
the specific stuff of Vader going ballistic at the end there. There's a lot of literature, the books, comic books, all that kind of stuff, where Vader's an absolute badass, and you don't see that in any of the movies. You see him as a whiny kid in the prequels, and in episode 4, 5, and 6, he's this crippled half machine man. You don't really see him in his prime where he's jumping all over the place, carving people up.
But you know that he is, like, he commanded respect, and you knew that he was a badass just because of his presence and the way
but you didn't
he
know
intimidated.
really why.
Actually, it's the same as like with Yoda, where they took Yoda, and it's like you knew that you had this kind of cool image of him, and it's like with the prequels where they made him jump around fighting and stuff. It's like they didn't need to do that. I felt like they kind of when you take away the mystery, and it actually detracts from the story. Like it actually makes it more narrow and smaller.
I take what you mean, but I liked it.
I agree with the Yoda fight and Dooku. I thought that was it Count Dooku? Was that the fight?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to see Yoda do something. I just think it was like poorly choreographed and executed. I thought it was very over the top to see this old thing just like spin 500 times in one jump type thing. I just kind of thought that was bad. But I think with the Darth Vader scene, because when you say about the mystery behind it, it's like, well, you actually, like Grax was saying, when you go into the comics and the Star Wars, I think cartoon Rebels series and things like that. So if you're actually like a Star Wars true dedicated, well, not say true fan, but if you're really hardcore into it, like that's your life, you're probably going to maybe have already seen the cartoons, read the comics, read the books, where him as Darth Vader as like an absolute killing machine, it's already been shown. It's just doing it in the movie. And I thought it was a really cool scene because I'm someone who hasn't really got into the cartoons or anything like that. And you always hear these stories that he is an absolute beast. He is a machine. He's the one that kills everybody. And you don't get to see that in 1, 2, and 3. And in, I guess, like 4, 5, 6, these are dated movies. So the fight scenes were like, oh, on guard.
I just feel like you don't always need to see it. It's like the legend of something makes it stronger to me rather than seeing it, kind of having it rammed down your throat. Obviously, we disagree, but that's just my point of view.
I think if they had made it go on for longer than what it did, I think I would be more supportive of your point. Like I agree with what you're saying, but I think it was nice to finally see him on screen show a little bit of badassery. But if it had have been the whole movie, or he's just going ballistic for the whole thing, I would say that would be overdone. But just that little bit at the end, he's desperate. He needs to get these plans. He's coming down the hallway. These dudes are toast, and I thought that was good.
So do you think there'll be, like, when you look at Star Wars Rogue One and the originally creatively named Solo movie, do you think they should or will do like a Darth Vader one?
Hard to say. I think it'd be an interesting story. I'd actually like to see. I'd like to see the Kenobi story before a Vader story. I think.
Oh, yep.
But I think they could make good movies out of it. But you're gonna, I think it'd be hard. What do you focus on? Because sort of episode 3 kind of touched on how he becomes Darth Vader and all that kind of stuff.
I think you have to focus on
him hunting down the Jedi and all that kind of stuff. That would be cool.
Between 3 and 4.
Yeah,
because I guess you're left in this
doing some more Sith learning from the Emperor. Maybe that
when you're going through the movies, I guess you're sort of left in episode 3. He's now become Vader, and we all know Vader, because I guess with episode 4, 5, and 6, we've grown up on Vader as the machine. He wipes everyone out, and then at the end of 3, it's like, yay, he's now Darth Vader, and then all of a sudden there's just like that huge sort of 20-30 year gap between him becoming Vader and then the story of this is it.
I think there's a lot you could do there.
It's something that is in the cartoon of Star Wars Rebels, where he goes off and does that, but not everyone watches the cartoon. So I want to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, fair point. I would definitely pay to see it.
But I think just going back to Rogue One, I think the problem with that movie was the characters and stuff were all really boring, and it's sort of like I was happy when they died. I know it sounds bad.
I think they're in a difficult situation where they really, nearly all of them had to die. So, how do you write enriching, interesting characters for a movie where they're going to all be dead at the end?
No, they could be interesting characters. That I don't see how that has a relation on how well the characters come across, just because they're going to die.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's loads of movies where the characters are good and interesting and they die. It's like they can live or they can die, but
Not the
it wasn't.
whole cast.
But it was no. But it was also like there was some fun parts. Like the end battle was really amazing, and it was cool to see all those ships going at it. That's got to be one of the best probably Star Wars scenes there is. But it was totally a special effects movie to me, where it's like it's like a popcorn movie where there's no real depth to it. The characters all suck, but it's an awesome thing to watch.
Do you feel there's potentially like a precursor in your mindset that, what is the point in getting invested in these characters because you know what's going to happen to them?
No, I would invest in them if I liked them, and sort of it wasn't because I knew roughly what was going to happen. They still could have. I don't see why you can't have interesting characters just because sort of roughly what the outcome is.
Is there anything that you don't want to see in the new Star Wars movie? I'm hoping there's not going to be a Hoth battle. Done that.
Yeah, I'd like to see some new stuff, not sort of like I don't want to see. Okay, like this is what they did kind of in Rogue One, where it's like, okay, now here's the AT-AT walkers. Oh, good AT-AT walkers. Okay, here's the AT-ST walkers. Here's the Star Destroyers. Like it was very just showing you like a list of things that you've seen in other movies. Like I want to see new stuff. I want to see like new concepts, something unexpected. Like just
See, I guess the thing is though.
Yeah, I think Rogue One they were kind of trapped in between 3 and 4. Where
it was a total fan service movie. Like they pretty much wrote it to be like just for fanboys. Like and probably like, I think they concentrate on that too much.
Between 3 and 4, so they were trapped in. There's already established ships and lore and all that kind of stuff for 4, and yeah.
I honestly, I'm gonna say like Rogue One was shit. Like it was a shit movie. That's like honestly, that's what I think. But I think, I think what's the other one called? The one before? I've forgotten already. Episode 7.
The last
Force Awakens.
The last, Force Awakens. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was great. That was a great movie because it had interesting characters and like you were saying, like you want to know what's going to happen. You kind of you get invested in them. They've got an interesting story. Like that's good because they're good characters.
I still like all of the stuff. People complain about the prequels 1, 2, and 3 and all that kind of stuff. I still enjoyed them. I don't think they're the best Star Wars movies, but I enjoyed parts of them all. And like, you can pick any movie to pieces if you spend enough time sort of looking at it. Force Awakens, I was really quite disappointed by Captain Phasma. I thought her character would be a little bit more time. She needed more screen time, more, like this is the elite commander of the special forces that gets taken out by what's his name?
I think it was like a disappointment with her because she kind of came out and you're like, oh, cool, this like interesting stormtrooper with a personality, and it's a woman. She seems real, like she's got a good presence on the screen. Yeah, like she started out really strong, and then they kind of just went, yeah, fuck off.
Now apparently there's going to be in the latest one. She's got much more of a larger role, which I'm looking forward to see. Hopefully they fix that side of the story up. And there was a lot of unanswered questions from Force Awakens too, so it'll be interesting to see where.
And I liked how they made the stormtroopers more like people. Like they had a bit of a personality, and that guy when he, the guy was like, "You traitor," and he pulls out the thing.
Yeah, and they had the grudge match.
Yeah, they have a bit of personality, and you say, "Oh, they're actually people, not." Well, I mean, they're clones, obviously, but yeah, it's
But
I don't know if they were then in.
Are they not clones?
Well, that's the thing.
Not in the new ones. I believe. I'm pretty sure they're like the military.
Right. They're just like and see, that's like, and I think there for me, like I know Brett, you and Michael are of the same mindset where. You sort of were obviously fine with The Force Awakens. I enjoyed it as a movie as well, but my issue was like, I think a lot of people also felt this way. It was very much like A New Hope. It's like, oh, okay, there's the new up-and-coming farm person who's on the middle of a desert, done that. Oh, look, there's basically a new improved Death Star, done that. Oh, look, the Stormtroopers. Oh, well, you've done that. Oh, look, basically Star Destroyers. Okay, you've done that. So
it was basically
a hermit Jedi that's run away from everyone because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And so it
was the same movie.
It was basically the same thing, and so
still enjoyable. A different way of telling the story, I suppose. But this is the one that'll make it where it can go either way. Whether they come up with some good explanations for what happened in the last one, and provides some interesting new story hooks for the one coming after, or whether it's a complete bomb. And I honestly hope it's not, and I don't think it will be. But
Who's
I'm
directing
still
this
gonna
one?
like it. Ryan Johnson.
Is he the one who did Force Awakens? Or no,
was
that was
Abrams.
Abrams. Yeah, okay, yeah. So
This is his first Star Wars movie.
But apparently they love how well he did that he's been given his own trilogy. So he's doing another 3 Star Wars
What
movies
other
completely
movies?
unconnected.
What
to-
other movies has
Oh,
he directed? This
timeline.
new guy.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I've never looked him up.
So just we'll have a look at that and have a quick check to see what else he's done. What was his name? Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, he's on Wikipedia. What do we got here?
So he also said he's now been doing his own trilogy.
No, it hasn't started yet. Disney have basically said, "Yep, you are a legend. We're going to let you do another 3 movies."
Are you sure it's Johnson?
Yeah, it's Rian. Not
Okay, all right.
Rian.
Nice. Rian Johnson. Okay, so what has he done? Is this the guy?
Oh, he
here?
did Looper. I liked Looper. That was all right.
Looper's good. Yeah, Looper was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie.
That's good.
The
else?
Brick director.
Ooh, he did 3 episodes of Breaking Bad.
Oh, nice. Okay, so he's got some credentials. What
Uh,
else?
So it says here on IMDb that he's had 18 wins and 33 nominations. I don't know what for, but it's up there.
Afterwards.
All
Is that
right,
what
now
it is?
I'm getting. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Cool.
awesome.
All right.
Like-
So there is hope. New hope.
There's even more. Could be even more hope. Or something.
A little bit more hope. Let's call it that.
All right. Cool. All right. So that's the news part of the show. So there you go.
I've got one thing. I just wanted to bring up quickly. I saw the other day, I think it was a repost from Twitter or Reddit. Someone copy and pasted a Facebook post of the Flat Earth Society. And basically somebody said something about how many members are you up to or something like that. And the Flat Earth Society have responded in a Facebook post with, we have members all around the globe.
Yeah.
And someone replied to that comment and just said, say that sentence again slowly. And I was laughing for hours.
That's great. That's not new. That's been around for a while, though. I think that.
Is it? I only saw it the other
that's
day.
not recent. That's
it.
not. I think that's
like it
about
a lot.
6 months old. But yeah, it is good.
There you go. That's about how far behind I am on current.
Catching up on the flat Earth news.
Yeah.
If only Michael was here for that one.
He'd love that.
Cool. So Destiny 2, their expansion came out.
Yes, you've been playing it.
Yesterday, day before? Couple of days ago?
Was it this week?
Yeah,
You already
last
finished it. You already finished it, Chris, haven't you?
No, it was last week. It was last Tuesday it came out. It would have been. So the expansion is the Curse of Osiris. So this is the first of 2 expansion packs to Destiny 2. And this one revolves around primarily the Vex, which is the robotic enemy. So if you have played Destiny 2, I'm sure you do know what they are. But if not, the Vex are basically a cybernetic robot android race that are actually all sort of connected within each other. And in this particular expansion, what they're really focusing to do is they're in an area they call the Infinite Forest. And what they're doing inside this Infinite Forest is simultaneously running simulations of different battles and different events and different strategies against us, the Guardians, and the other races that are also within it with the Cabal and the Fallen and things like that. And really what they're trying to do is, I guess because the Guardians, we keep beating them and they keep losing, they're running these like millions of simulations internally to try and find different ways to actually beat us and take over the universe. So that's kind of the premise of it. And you have to go into this Infinite Forest and stop the mastermind or the big brain behind the Vex army, who's running these simulations. And basically you need to stop him. That's kind of it. The Osiris is a character. He's supposed to be the greatest guardian of all time, and he's been in the forest for basically a really, really long time. One of the big things about the Infinite Forest is people that go in never come out because there's an infinite amount of pathways that you could go, which continue to sort of loop around and go off in other directions. And essentially, the lore behind it is you can get basically infinitely lost in this place.
Is that what the curse is?
No idea. There's nothing about a curse. There's nothing about a curse. So yeah, the Osiris, he's a character who's basically like some sort of prophet, and
because he was
really
in
all he
Destiny
is.
1, wasn't he?
No,
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
I remember.
I don't remember it.
in that super long video I watched about the history of Destiny 1 that he was mentioned as being
Unless he was just like
dude.
Was he cursed back then? Or?
well, unless he was maybe just like it was a line of dialogue. I don't remember him being a character because he's supposed to have been in this infinite forest for decades type thing.
Okay, so maybe he was just like a reference to being missing or something.
Yeah, like Osiris, he was one of the main NPCs that is one of the guides to you. Her name is Ikora.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just there's three primary NPCs that you go to for guidance and assistance, and they give you quests. This was her mentor, her teacher type thing. So unless it's come up in dialogue because of that relationship that she has had with him, otherwise there's no way. If he was in the game, then that wouldn't make sense, and I think that'd be an absolute break in the.
So can you sort of tell us what does this add to the game, and is it worth it? How much content type thing?
So in terms of the story and the campaign, you're going to only get about 2 hours, 3 if you suck at the game, because there's only a few missions, although quite interesting and fun. But then again, this is a online MMO, multiplayer orientated game. So campaigns are really the short end of it. It's the follow-up work and the end game stuff that you get to do. So one thing that I really do enjoy, and I think is a really cool addition, is certain reward vendors will provide you with actually objectives to try and achieve and to try and do to actually then get cosmetic rewards out of it. So for example, now if I go to my particular class vendor, he's going to have 5 items, sort of, your legs, your chest, and your head armor and things like that. And if I do certain objectives during this particular season of Destiny, or season 2 that it's now in, I'll be rewarded with the cosmetic of this faction's helmet. That also goes for the PvP guy. And also there's the faction events where there's 3 different factions we can pledge your allegiance to. They also have go do certain things like go down to a planet and I think melee kill 50 people. And that'll get you the reward of a new set of cosmetic feet or leg boot things. If you kill 1,000 people just in general, you'll get the legs. So at least it's giving you some sort of reward to actually go to places and actually do something, which is, I think, a nice change, particularly for, okay, you've got it for your class, you've got it for your faction, you've got it for your PvP guy. So and I'm sure that'll
adding in and kind of another grind, but if you're that way inclined, you'd probably like it anyway.
But that's what MMOs are all about. It's all about grinding.
Doesn't really because it's $30, right, for the DLC for like 2 to 3 hours of that, and then some grindy shit. Like that doesn't really sound worth it to me.
No, but then you look at the strikes that you do. They've added in a new heroic level, so there's more. It's now sort of like an in between difficulty between the strike dungeons.
And do you have to have the DLC to access that?
I would assume so. I would have to assume so because I've got the DLC.
So if you don't get the DLC, like you're pretty much now locked out of the game because you're not going to be able to progress.
Well, maybe I don't know about the heroics. I mean, maybe you should just log in and check to see if you can access it, and that'll answer that one for you. I'm not 100% certain. They've also expanded the raid. They did say it was like basically an additional layer or zone that's been added to the current one, which I thought was a bit. Okay, that doesn't. Why don't you add actually in a brand new raid altogether? Speaking to some of the guys from my clan online, and I was asking them about it because I haven't actually done it yet due to I've got a job, so I don't have 6 hours.
You're not 12.
Yeah, exactly. And they sort of said, no, it is massive. They said it took them a considerable amount of time to finish off this new section. So yes, it's an add-on, but there's apparently a substantial amount of work and effort that needs to go into it.
Okay, so question.
Yep.
If you get the expansion, but you're like me and have just got to max level and stopped playing, and haven't done the raids, haven't done the strikes, haven't done the other stuff, are you going to have problems in the story? Like, are you going to be able to continue the story with the gear you have from the end of the game, or do you need to do other stuff to gear up before you can even do anything?
No. You'll be fine there. I think that's good for the people who are in your situation. It's a bit the opposite for people in, say, my situation, because when you actually the level cap is level 20. It's now gone up to level 25, so you got to get up a couple extra levels now. But the content for the missions start at power level 200, where most people, once you get to max level, you're going to be around 220 to 240. Me, myself, I was sort of up to the 290 mark.
And see, that was going to be my next question. So people like you that have done the raids and got the good gear, are you going to be piss bored walking through this expansion, killing everything like it's
the thing is, right, Grax, the thing is, because the game scales anyway, it actually doesn't really matter what level you are, because it will still be the same level of challenge. And that's the massive problem that I have with Destiny, is like, it doesn't really matter because it's just going to kind of scale it to your level.
Well, I think
so that's why it's like, I got bored of it, because I'm like, what's the point in leveling up?
So the thing is, that will be for the leveling and the story experience. But once you get into the strikes and the nightfalls, that's when you can actually control the difficulty that you go in at. So, for example, the nightfall right now, which is supposed to be the difficulty before the raid, but above the strikes, is you need a power level of 270. That's the number. That's the recommended. Now the heroic strikes require you to be 270, and that's supposed to be the difficulty between the strike and the nightfall. So, but then again, the nightfall also is a recommended of 270, so that hasn't changed. But then again, once you get up to that 300 point, then there's the prestige difficulty where it's up to 330. 300, it was 300 prior to the expansion, so that's been increased. So yes, I think the story and the leveling experience is pretty straightforward. It is pretty easy.
In answer to your question, Grax, no, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to just keep playing.
Yeah, because what I was curious was whether it's doing the same sort of thing WoW's doing, it has done, where you'll like, I used to hardcore raid quite a bit in WoW. You'd spend months and months working out the boss fights, getting the tactics right. You're working together with your team. You beat the boss. You get to the end of the dungeon, the instance, the raid, whatever. You get all the top tier gear. And then the next expansion comes out and you go questing and you're picking up great quality items that are better than the shit you got in the raid. And it's just like, fuck, I just wasted months. Like I think Blizzard have got better at it. And now, when they bring out a new expansion, your old gear still lasts you for a while, which is, they've listened to that. But that used to piss me off so hard. You spend all this time. Just
everything becomes worthless. And it's like the trash items from the next one are better. You're just
exactly.
Oh, man.
But that's always, I think,
it's the balance thing. Can they get the balance
difficulty of any MMO, and their expansions? So everyone's going to fall into that trap because you've got to then improve. So I think that's just a very difficult hurdle for any developer to overcome.
Yeah, I think
how to balance that.
I think Blizzard have almost got there, or pretty much got there. I haven't played for a while, but they did make some changes which made it a little less painful.
I mean, in their most recent expansion, one of the big changes that they had was the legendary weapons. Like, everyone's got a legendary, which basically doesn't make it legendary.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, look, so basically for people...
the concept a little bit.
Yeah, so for people who've maybe never played WoW or played in MMOs that require you months and months and months, if not years of dedication to get really good stuff, there's a particular item quality that would be the legendary. That is I think when in WoW in its heyday, you'd have out of thousands of people on your server, if you were lucky, and you'd be the one person to have this item, and that would require a lot of luck, a lot of RNG and things like that. But if you had that, you were the only one, and people knew that you had that. In the most recent one, it was everybody gets it. Everyone gets a legendary, and you get a legendary, and you get a legendary. But
everyone gets a medal.
Everyone gets a participation award. But in the next expansion, they're we're done with legendary weapons. So now all of a sudden you're going to go, I've just spent the last, obviously, 2 years, whatever this one is, I didn't really get into it, that it's been out. You've got this legendary item, and this is an artifact weapon. This is the power of your people type thing. And then an expansion, here's like a grey sword. Move on. I really don't know how. Look, maybe they'll have a way of countering that. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I think that's just the loop and the trap that all MMOs fall into.
Yeah.
What else is new in Destiny 2? So they've got the new difficulty stuff. They've got more incentives to actually go and do things. They've got the difficulties that have gone up. There's more weapons. There's a huge there's new weapon variety types. There's new weapons that have gone into it with different skills and perks and things like that.
So more stuff.
This is more stuff. And look, Destiny, you play it because it's a fun multiplayer game to play.
Next question. Can you buy this expansion on its own, or have you got to buy the pass to get the next one as well?
I'm pretty sure it's just a pass.
Yeah, because I was going to say if $30 for that one on its own sounds a lot, but if it's $30 for that one and the next one,
no, it's $30 just for that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
It's just because you just buy Curse of Osiris and it's just a standalone DLC and it's $29.95.
It probably makes sense because the season pass is $50, so it's like get both for $50 or get one for $30.
I'm just looking at it now. It's definitely $30 just for that.
For 2 to 3 hours,
much. Fuck that.
A little bit much, I think.
Yeah,
but then that's where they get you with the season pass for both, and it's $50.
You could buy a good indie game on Steam and get
several good indie games.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, okay, cool.
Next.
Okay, so Sea of Thieves is a game that I know I'm really excited for. I think you're up there.
You guys were talking about this the other day in chat, and I honestly have not heard of it, and I'm a little bit ashamed because I do like pirate games, and as soon as you guys started talking about it, I did some Google and had a bit of a look, and got my Google foo going on. It looks cartoony. Like, explain to me.
It looks awesome.
Explain, please.
Okay, so Sea of Thieves has just had its release date announced as March 20th, 2018. So we're not that far away. We will be coming up to 3-4 months to go.
Is that all platforms?
It's only Xbox One and Windows 10, so I imagine they'll do them both at the same time.
Yeah. So there could be some cross-platform play in there for anyone that might enjoy that.
It's a Microsoft game, isn't it? Yeah, so it should be cross-platform.
Published, developed, whichever one that is, by Rare, which I think is really awesome because Rare over the years have done some really good stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Really good games. Now, Sea of Thieves, you basically take on the role as a pirate. I would imagine there's going to be plenty of customization there to have your pirate look the way you want it to. And I think the biggest thing that sounds really cool is the pirate ships. But not because of the ship, because you actually need a crew of people and friends to actually run the ship. So it's not like you get in and press W to go forward and S to reverse. It's like, no, someone take the wheel and then you're going to steer it. Cool. How do we make it go forward? We'll get one of your crew members to go and get the flag going and get the ropes and whatever. Oh, we're being shot. Jimmy, you go jump on the cannons, and someone needs to be able to look at it. So you actually got to have a collaborative effort with your friends and your crew to actually efficiently run a ship.
So what I want to know is, obviously that's a great experience, but you need, probably 5 or 6 people to run the ship or something. Mm-hmm. Is it what happens if you just kind of want to play it on your own? Is it still possible to play it, or what happens?
I don't think there's really been too much on that. I think the advertising and the trailers and the gameplay videos that they've shown at sort of events and conventions has really been just focusing on the multiplayer aspect. Maybe you can get a really small dinghy. I don't know.
Because it sounds like such a good thing. And I think with your actual friends, it will be, it'll be the ultimate LAN game probably, where you can all just play together and have a great time. But, where you, if it's going to stick you in a ship with a load of randoms, could you imagine what that's going to be like? And you're yes. Yeah, just go, you're the captain, go northwest, and they just steer straight into some rocks. It's just going to be
the ultimate troll.
It's like with GTA Online, when you try to play with randoms, it's brutal. It's so hard. I'm not trying to downplay the game. I think it's going to be amazing, but I just wonder how that's going to work when you...
Don't know. I think that side of things is probably something that isn't the focus of the games. That's why there hasn't been probably too much information that's been released about it.
Or I guess you could join a good, like a clan or whatever they're called. And have to find some good people to play with. That would be the way to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's going to be really cool is the ship battles. The pirate ship battles looks to be a lot of fun in the gameplay trailers that they have shown. You see a lot of people jumping into cannons and having like your friends shoot you out of the cannon, and they land on the other ship and they start pulling out swords and pistols and, you know, attacking and killing the other players while your friends back on your ship are shooting cannonballs into the ship and whatnot. And there's, you know, if you go jumping in the sea, you got to be careful because there's going to be sharks down there to nibble at your toes. You got to go treasure hunting, and it just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the cartoony element, the style of the graphics, I think are going to be cool. I think it just adds that sort of calming, relaxing. This is like a feel-good type of game. I think it just looks like it's going to be amazing.
Is there another one? Wasn't there another pirate game, like something similar, coming out around the same time? Or am I just made that up?
I think you're right. I think, is it Ubisoft that are doing something?
Yeah, I'm sure that.
I'm sure I saw something at E3 that looked really quite realistic.
I do. Yes,
Sorry,
there is. That's all right.
Yeah. There was one called Skull and
Bones. Yeah, it was at E3 2017.
Yeah.
Open world pirate game.
Yeah, they just come out with the same stuff at the same time.
Yeah, very interesting.
That's almost like it's a conspiracy. Coinkydink.
But if you haven't checked it out, definitely go do it. It looks like it's going to be very cool to go exploring the high seas in your pirate ship with your mateys, and go find islands and go treasure hunting for treasure chests. I think it's going to be really cool. I think one thing that's cool, like from what they have shown, is when you get like your mission to go and find your chest, it actually gives you like a riddle that you've actually got to try and solve. So it doesn't really sort of, from what they've shown, it doesn't kind of go, you know, go to the island to
there's
to
no
the
big
left.
beacon over the top of it. It's like it's more like a puzzle you got to
Look
work
for
out.
the flashing quest beacon.
See, that's awesome. I'd love to see more of that, where it's like you really got to work stuff out rather than just like there's so much hand holding in games now. It's like I do kind of miss that, you know, where you've got to work stuff out for yourself.
But I think that, and I think it's going to be cool to have that type of co-op element. I think next year, once that comes out, and then who knows, whenever Star Citizen gets their shit sorted out,
2025.
Yeah, I might be.
I've put a bit of time into
optimistic.
3.0, the PTU. Lots of crashing, but
I heard it's ridiculously buggy still.
It's cool, but yeah, there's lots of. I can't see it coming out before the end of the year. Well, we've only got 4 weeks left. It's looking good, but not ready for public consumption.
No, definitely not. Obviously, I've been following that as well online. Lots of good-looking screenshots coming out and things like that.
It looks amazing. It really does. All of the ships that I've, got in and flown around and stuff, they just look brilliant. The atmosphere, the land, it looks great. But if you can't play it and it's buggy as hell and the performance is shit, doesn't matter how good it looks.
So it's still really slow, like really bad frame rate type thing.
It's not as. It's up and down now. It's inconsistent. So, whereas before in some places it was quite consistently bad.
That's what I found with it currently, like 2.6 or whatever it is. It's like if there's too many people in the server, it just craps out and just gets really laggy. But then, so it's just like hit and miss.
So the good thing really now is because you can actually go to other planets and like Yellow and all of that kind of stuff, you can actually get away from people and land your ship on the planet and look around, and there's just no one if you aren't following anyone. So that's kind of cool. But then you come across the bugs. Like I went to a small little outpost, landed my ship, and went and had a look around. There was no loot. There was no AI. There was nothing there. And when I came out of the little outpost, my ship had fallen off the side of the mountain, but I didn't park it near the mountain. Like it was 4.5 k's away. So
it just kind of hovered along and
it just disappeared. It literally despawned or fell through the world or something. I couldn't get back to it. So
welcome to the alpha testing development.
Absolutely, and I don't begrudge them that. You've got to do that kind of testing in the public arena because that's something they can't replicate in their.
How'd you get access to that, Gregs?
I might be a concierge.
So for those who don't know, basically to get concierge status, which gives you perks, I guess, you need to have spent at least $1,000.
To be
You're
fair,
like, it better, bloody better be good when they finish.
Yeah.
The other way you can do is you can also subscribe
you can
for
subscribe.
$20 a month.
I subscribed for 2 years straight, and off and on for a month here and there when they released cool stuff. But I haven't been a subscriber now for probably
But it's
3 months.
It's that subscription though that you sort of were chucking out the $20 over the course of 2 years plus.
Yeah, that would be.
built
I've
up
only
a lot
got
of that.
four. I've only got 4 ships, so it's the subscription that's put me over
Only.
that.
Only $300 a piece.
Yeah.
I got the starter package for $45, man.
But look, what we'll do, I mean, Star Citizen is, who knows when that's going to come out. And I think once 3.0 releases
We'll
to
definitely have
the
to do a
live
review of it
server,
when
we'll
it's stable.
have that chat, I think, because that's one thing that a lot of us are really looking forward to. The only reason why I brought that up is just because I think we've got the crew element in your spaceships, traveling the universe, and then we've got it down on the ground in pirate ships as well. So I think seems to be a few games, and then, with, like I said, Skull and Crossbones, if that's what it was called, starting to bring in that, to actually do stuff, you need to be actually as a team.
Working as a team, yeah. It'd be nice to see.
Ark has a new update, Aberrations, coming up.
Yes,
Drax, you might be able to spill a little bit of information. I didn't realize there was an update for it, which is
coming out on the 12th or the 13th of December, depending on where you are.
So this week.
Yeah, this week, couple of days for us. So basically, it's the premise of this one. It's a whole new map, whole new area.
Just for people who don't know what, because you said Ark, like sort of, like some people might not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Ark's a survival game. If you
Ark Survival Evolved, it's called.
That's correct, yes. And there's been quite a few expansions already. There were 2 free map releases earlier.
Sorry, just to go back there. So yes, it is a survival game, but you're kind of missing the best part about it.
I was going to get to that, but you can talk about it if you'd like to.
Oh, no, if you're going there, that's all right. I'll let you be.
Let me be. So it's a survival game, as we've covered, and you are stranded or transported or end up somehow on what they call an ark, which is, for lack of a better description, an island full of dinosaurs, prehistoric creatures and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. That's on the original map, which is called the island. And you have the ability to tame the dinosaurs, use them as beasts of burden, mounts, that kind of thing. You can also breed them, get their eggs, get them to mate, build compounds. So it's your standard survival game with, eating, drinking, kill things to survive, with the twist of adding in dinosaurs and boss monsters, and then this added element of you being stranded on this ark, which is really quite strange because there's a lot of technology there, but everything's prehistoric. So there's this underlying story of, what the fuck's going on? And I still haven't worked it out, so I don't know. But
there's a lot of island to explore.
There is, just on the first map that came with the game, the island, it's huge. The one after that was, I think, the Center, and then Ragnarok. There are 2 other maps, and this latest one is called Aberration. So that, as we have already covered, comes out this week. Each of the different maps has a different theme. If you buy the game with the season pass, you get everything. But Ragnarok and the Center were free map DLC. So if you buy the base game, you get them anyway. So you get 3 different maps to play on. And as I just said, I'm still playing on the island, the first one. And still haven't got to the end of that. I have got another game going with a group of friends where I'm playing on Ragnarok at the moment, and that's a very, very cool map as well. Lots of new tech, different things you can build.
For a new player, would you suggest just playing on the original one, or would you go to the newer ones?
I would suggest starting with the original, but you don't have to sort of stay there. There is a mechanism in game. If you've got access to the other maps, you can transfer to another server, one of the other expansion servers or expansion maps. So the basic premise of the game is the same. There's, if for each new expansion, there's new things you can craft. There's new types of dinosaurs and creatures and monsters. And there is a feature in game where if you go to, say, from the island to Ragnarok, you do some time there, you can upload your dinosaurs that you've tamed to the Ark via an obelisk, and you can take them back to your game on the island, so you can have all these other cool things going on your main game. There's little things you have to do to be able to do that, but it is possible. So that's kind of cool. But this latest one that's coming out this week, Aberration, is the Ark itself. The map is predominantly subterranean, underground. So the premise is there's a lot of caves. It's apparently a malfunctioning Ark where there's a lot of biomes and different sort of areas underground. Nature of the environment presents a thrilling new world to explore and master, apparently, according to the official blurb. Definitely looking forward to that, but this particular expansion pack is a paid one. It's $19.99 US, but if you've got the game with the season pass, it doesn't cost you anything.
Do you have a season pass?
I do.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course you do.
Well, just funnily enough, I bought Ark several years ago when it hit early access on Steam when it first came out, but I never played it until about 2 months ago.
Is that because we were telling you to play it, weren't we? Wasn't it us?
I think you were.
Like, play it, Grax. You would like it, and then you just played it non-stop.
I got caught up in 7 Days to Die and Conan and all the other cool survival games, which I'm still playing, by the way. Still got them going on. Still doing the Conan series and all that stuff on YouTube. Check it out. But yeah, Ark, I'll probably wouldn't mind doing a series on that as well. It's definitely got content for that kind of thing. So, and we have set up a server that the boys occasionally play on when they get time. So you should come and join us.
I mean, I'm on Steam now having a look at it and looking at the most recent and helpful reviews, particularly the ones that have like downvoted this game. Sort of obviously they've got their views on it, but there seems to be a bit of a similarity between the ones that are downvoting the game is they've racked up like 1,500 plus hours.
Yes.
Like, if you don't like a game, why are you putting
it's crazy, isn't it?
So it's like, here's one here, posted on the 11th of December. It doesn't have the year, but I'm going to guess maybe today. He's downvoted this. I have 1,500 hours into this game, and I have to say, do not buy it. I think you've got your money's worth out of 1,500 hours. It was released broken, glitchy, buggy, and unpolished. Dinosaurs clip into structures and can't walk over. Collision is a joke. It's like, then why did you put so much time into it?
Keep playing it then. Keep playing it.
Just hoping it'll get better.
A couple of months straight.
Here's another one with 1,816 hours on record. The pros, fantastic premise, great ideas, awesome dinosaurs, plus the pros. And the cons got progressively less balanced. Performance stagnated. Fixes for perf, P-E-R-F, performance, I'm guessing that's what he means, seemed to be a major backward step. Why did you put 1,800 hours?
Yeah, there'd be a lot of questions I'd ask them too. So there is a very large modding community for Ark. There's a lot of mods that you can get. There's a lot of private servers out there. So my first couple of questions would be, are they running mods that are affecting performance? Are they on private servers or official servers?
Well, how does it run on yours? Because I know, like, I've always found the performance to be it's not very well optimized, but I was sort of hoping now they've kind of polished it up.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it at all. Like the bloom, when you first log in, the bloom setting is really quite blinding, which is realistic if you're looking into the sun. But there is a console command that is not a cheat, but you can turn the bloom off and get rid of that glare. But apart from that, the gameplay is fun. Yeah, this is occasional glitchy, laggy stuff, but it's hard to say whether that's the game or your internet network. Like in Australia, it could be anything. I'm having loads of fun since I set up my server. The missus and I have been playing, almost every day. And more recently, I've joined another group of friends on their Ragnarok server, which they're going to pull down in 2 days and put Aberration on. And two of those guys, one of those guys has got 2,000 hours in the game, and one of the ladies on the server has got 6,000 hours in the game. So,
wow.
That's a lot of time. They've been playing since early access. So that's a lot of time. And the places these people have built and the creatures that they've tamed and bred and stuff are just amazing.
I mean, one of the things I want to get to, because I'm looking on the image of sort of the cover art to Ark on Steam, and there's like a guy riding like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's got like armor and laser helmets and shit. I'm like, I want a T-Rex that I can run around with like lasers. I think that looks really cool.
Absolutely.
Look, Ark is definitely, I think, a lot of fun. When I say it runs really good on mine, I should sort of put that with a caveat because I've got a i7 like 7700K plus a 1080 now.
Yeah, it's a spaceship computer. Like it's
I've-
normal,
Look,
like,
I'm
it's not a
get-
normal person's computer.
Come on, man. The spaceship had a Commodore 64 on it at one point. Right?
Yeah, there you go. So look, I think Ark is really cool. It's a lot of fun.
The premise is very cool.
It's a survival based game. You can build houses and huts and bases, and you build armor and weapons, and then you get to tame dinosaurs, and you can tame as many dinosaurs as you want.
A lot of the reviews
this-
are annoying where it's like, you know, they're like, oh, it's buggy and blah, blah. It's like, it's still, I don't know if it is now, but it was still in early access.
It was
It's
early
like,
access till August, I believe, this year.
Yeah.
It's actually got a release date as the 30th of August.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of those reviews are from earlier where, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's early access,
It
mate.
is
What do you expect?
quite. There is quite a steep learning curve. I found not knowing too much about it when I first played, and going out and just getting absolutely owned by the first dinosaur I came across. And,
Yeah,
you know,
that's why I never got past that. I just
and
kept
having to
getting
try
killed.
and work out where my body was, get my gear and all of that. And, you know, very early on, if you're not quite savvy about how you track where you're moving, if you get killed, you won't be able to get back to your gear. Like, that's a server setting, drop all on death and all that kind of stuff, all those kind of things you can change. There are mods that mod that out where you can have teleporters and stuff. But if you go for the vanilla game, there is a few headaches early on until you get strong enough to defend yourself. But that's realistic. You know what I mean? You're on an island full of dinosaurs. You don't know which ones are hostile, which ones are not. You've got
It's challenging. It's good.
Yeah, you've got a spear and, you know, a thatch hut. Like, well, what are you going to do? And that's cool. You know, the options are limitless once you start sort of protecting yourself.
Yeah.
So I find it very cool.
Cool, awesome. All right, so next up, and our final segment for the evening, is our control record quiz. Now, this week we don't have the cheater, Michael,
Oh, that's going to hurt him.
on the show this week. Michael, the answer out. And shut up. That's not how it works.
Actually, Brett might have to do that because, you know, in case the lag issue happens again.
Yeah, well, look, it's whatever you hear is what goes, lag or no
Yeah.
lag. That's
Yeah.
all it's about.
Oh, it's not going to be fair because you guys are closer together. So it's,
Maybe
I'm
you
already,
get the answers.
I'm already throwing out my excuses.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
don't,
haven't even started.
just don't answer before I say your name.
No, I'm not Michael.
Exactly.
Like that.
Because then that
So-
way, if you believe you got in first, we can do a negotiation.
Okay.
Negotiation. Oh, geez. All right. Cool. Grax, you are the quizmaster this week.
Yes, I
episode.
am.
Question number 1.
Okay, gentlemen, buzzers at the ready. Question 1. In the game Mortal Kombat, what phrase is heard when Scorpion uses his spear?
Brett.
Chris,
I'll go with Brett for that.
Yes.
piss off.
Get over here.
Yes, indeed. One for Brett.
Hit it. Cheers.
I call bullshit because I said it first.
No,
You're just being
No,
nice.
I
You
was,
did
I was
not-
ahead of you.
He was in front, my friend.
I was
Actually,
like an hour ahead of you.
3 hours in, 3 hours ahead. We have 3 hours
Yeah.
behind, are you?
Yeah.
Alrighty, question 2.
Something like
Something like that. The Covenant are a fictional military alien.
Chris.
Ah, fuck.
Halo.
1 to Chris.
Ah,
Very good.
I don't like it when he jumps in too early. It annoys me.
You're waiting for the end of the question, aren't you?
Yeah, you should modify it like at the last minute so to catch him out.
No way. No way.
Hey, but if you had got it wrong, you would have got the rest of the question anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the risk I'm
is the
willing to
risk.
take for the point.
Alrighty, moving on. Question 3. What popular game series focuses on a female English archaeologist and
Chris.
Fuck.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is correct. Chris with 2 points. No, her name was not fuck, but depending.
No, I knew it. I was like, damn it. Just didn't
All
like
right.
it.
Good stuff. Alrighty, question 4. What is the name of the main character in Grand Theft Auto 4?
Brett.
Brett.
Shit.
Nico Bellic.
Oh, good job, Brett. Back with the equalizer. What, for an extra point. No, just kidding.
Ching.
What country is he from?
What?
Is he Ukrainian?
No.
Oh, what would you say?
No,
Sorry,
that's- no, it was
cut
just-
out of mine there.
I said, what
country is
for
he
an
from?
extra point, what country is he from? But it's not really
Oh.
part of the quiz.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that?
What is,
It's some sort of eastern country, but I don't know.
Yugoslavia.
Oh, okay. No,
I knew
to
it.
be honest, I didn't know that.
That's okay. Okay, here we go. This is a flashback. I can't say too much more than that because that'll give it away. In what video game do Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde try to impede your progress through a succession of mazes?
The names ring a bell.
Do you want a hint?
Oh, hang on. Yeah.
Think
us a hint.
way back. Way.
Series of mazes. Oh, Brett.
Brett.
Pac-Man.
Yes, Brett.
Yes.
Well done.
Chris. Sorry.
Okay. Good job. So just a quick score check here. Brett is on 3. Chris is on 2.
Good.
Okie dokie. Now, I'm pretty sure both of you will know the answer to this next one, so get ready. In the Mario games, what type of animal is Bowser?
Brett. He is a tortoise.
I'll take that.
What were you going to say?
I've got it as turtle.
No, he's a tortoise because he's got feet and stuff.
What's the in-game name of it, of his race type people? That's it.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, but I get the
we'll
point.
take tortoise, tortoise.
Here's
The wiki
question.
said turtle.
Tortoise probably doesn't make sense because it is feet, not flippers. Here's a question for you.
Are you running the quiz now?
No, but it's just it came up with Mario. It reminded me of something that it kind of made me think today when I saw it on Facebook. What is Mario's first name?
Plumber.
Isn't it Mario?
So here's the thing. If the name is the Mario Brothers,
Yeah, but it's Mario. It's Mario and Luigi, though.
Yeah.
No, but it's Super Mario Brothers. That's like the original.
Yeah. Nice tangent.
So Luigi, that would kind of indicate or imply that the surname is actually Mario because they're the brothers and they're it's like the Herdman brothers. It's like
But why would he be called Mario and he be called Luigi?
Look, I don't know. Maybe just there wasn't like a
Japanese logic, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's just the Mario brothers, Luigi Mario, because that's their surname, basically. Just saying. Move on. Next question.
Well, it's actually the last question, so Chris, technically you can't win, but it doesn't matter.
Let me thrash him some more.
Okay, let's see how we go. If I get this, will there be a bonus point question?
I can find one, but I don't have any ready.
No, okay, let's go. Let's see.
All right.
What is it?
What game, developed by Remedy Entertainment, centers around a New York Police Department detective who attempts to avenge the murder of his family? Chris.
Oh.
No, it's not all.
No. Max. What's his name? What's the guy's name with the bullet time and the Max?
You're describing it very well.
What's it called? I've got it. Yeah, that's got to be closer than Tortoise and Turtle. Like, it's the bullet time guy with the guns. His name's Max.
What's his last name? It's not called the Max game.
No, it's not. Damn it. Oh.
I know the game is. I've forgotten.
Look, I know what it is. He's forgotten. Just give me the point.
No, fuck off. I won. I definitely won that. That doesn't count. That's not good enough.
He can have the point anyway. He's not going to win. He makes it 3-4.
Yeah.
But come on, you got to know.
What's
it's
the
one
answer?
of the best games.
Max Payne.
Yes, well done.
I had that as well. Like I was thinking Max P something P, and I just couldn't remember.
It's one of those ones that's kind of fallen away, and it's been around for quite a while.
They were great games.
They were
awesome.
sensational games.
They were
really
very
well done.
groundbreaking at the time. Good
And
graphics.
quite dark, and the whole comic book narration and everything was really enjoyable. That game. Or those.
For the bullet time.
The first two. The third one I couldn't get into too much. But yeah. Anyway, all right. There we go. So there is the Control Alt Record quiz with Brett winning at 4 points.
Yes.
To 3. Congratulations.
This is why you need even questions, not odd questions.
Why? Odds
Because
better.
then there would have been.
Odds better so that there's a clear winner instead of a tiebreak.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get a tie.
We discussed
Chris.
this previously.
Yeah.
We agreed. Odd questions.
Hey guys, fuck you. All right,
Such a sore loser.
He's gone. He's going to get upset now. You watch.
Now he's going to shut the show down. You watch. I bet he closes the show.
Yeah,
because of
but
that.
he says that was the last episode. See you later.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So-
I just mean he's going to he's going to end the episode now because he's upset and he wants to go to bed.
Well, yeah.
See? Told you. How did I know that?
Because at the start of the quiz, I said the final segment.
Ah, well, it's convenient, isn't
It's
it?
the final segment. Cool. Anyway, that is is there any last minute things that you guys want to bring up before we do close up the show? No? Great. So thank you so much for
I was going to say,
Thank
if
you.
anybody cares, should be another Conan Exiles video of mine up on our YouTube channel tomorrow or the next day. I just got to finish editing it. So if you guys are following that series, there should be a new episode in the next couple of days.
I think one thing in our next episode, if you haven't already, go check out the recently shown Death Stranding trailer.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a bit of a conversation between us
And Michael.
on that.
We were going to talk about it
basically,
tonight, but without Michael being here, we thought we'd
Without Michael,
give him a chance to
So-
explain himself.
That will be in the next episode when Michael is back and it's all four of us, because I think we're all on different standing points. We didn't really talk too much about it in our little text chat about what's going on, but I kind of got the sense that Grax and I are on one side of the fence with Brett and Michael on the other.
I'm not on any
Michael-
side. I haven't even watched it.
No.
I don't even-
You haven't watched
Maybe
it?
wait till next
No.
week
Well,
then, right before the episode.
You're going to have to watch it.
I'll certainly have an
Um,
opinion, so I'll watch it.
Definitely. Well, so far, I think Grax and I are on one side of the fence. Michael's on his own so far. So if you haven't checked it out, listeners, go check it out. It's a real weird looking thing.
It's interesting.
But that's going to be a topic of conversation for our next episode. But if you do like the show, of course, jump onto iTunes again, give us a rating, give us a review, as well as on any Google Android app that you might be using. Check out our channels such as Facebook and Twitter. Links to those will be in the description of the show. And also jump onto YouTube to check out Grax's videos on his Conan series. And until next episode, we'll catch you in the next one.
See yous.
Bye.
Thanks.